Right, good evening, guys. Welcome again to tonight's webinar. Firstly, I just want to apologize for yesterday. I was actually using a free trial subscription on Zoom, which could only allow me only about 30, 40 minutes per session. But now I've upgraded, there won't be any interruptions. And we also had problems with feedback yesterday because I couldn't mute some people's mics. So everything should be smooth. We should be operating smoothly today, or rather tonight. Okay, so if there are any issues with connections, just please type on the chat box so that I can see that there are issues, then I can stop and see if we need to rectify it. Right, for the benefit of those who don't know me, my name is Ndibu Victor Manena. Some of you have seen my posts on Facebook, and I usually send my chats on our main group, which is PIP's exclusive Forex group. Okay, so we've created this new channel where only the administrators can post chats because I was trying to avoid congestion. I'm sure it is irritating for most of you when people are just chatting up on the group, because the main purpose of that group is to send chats and analysis. So I hope we won't be having those interruptions anymore. All right, so let's get into the charts now. So yesterday we looked at the US dollar JPY chart. I'm not going to repeat what we said yesterday, but the one thing that I said yesterday about this pair is that if you look at it holistically, I'm just going to try and get you to see the wave count on the higher time frame, and then I'm going to go to the lower time frame. Yeah. All right, so let me show you what this thing is doing first. As I said, I always analyze my charts using the Elliot wave method, supported obviously by any other method, support, trend line, support, and resistances. The one thing that I hardly use is indicators. So let's do this. All right, so what happened with this pair? This is what happened previously. We had this impulse here. I did tell you guys that every time there's an impulse, there must be a correction. So this is the impulse that I'm looking at. You will see that I've got a purple W here, and I've got a purple X here, and a purple Y. So I want you to understand where this W, X, Y in purple comes from. And then you'll be able to understand where the rest of the analysis come from. All right, so let me join up all this W, X, Y that I've identified with this yellow line. Can you see that is the yellow line? That is the W, X, and then the Y. So you can see that it is this should have actually passed through here. You can see that this is a big zigzag correction, and this correction is correcting this swing. If you can see, there's a difference between the way this impulse and this correction here. The impulse, this was up in a straight line. You can see the direction was predominantly up with big candles. But here, look how long it took. It was just all over the place. It was just going sideways without showing us any real movement. But we did get a lot of trades in here. So we got this big trade, big zigzag correction that I'm looking at. But under this big zigzag, there is another zigzag that I'm going to show you now. I'm going to change the color and just show you that. I'm going to change the color and just show you that big the zigzag underneath. So that is what we call the internal wave count. So here, this is the external. You can see that is the highest degree that we look at. So I always say when you analyze the market, you must analyze from the highest time frame to the lowest time frame. So let's just look at the internal one. So you can you see here, there's another zigzag. There's another zigzag here in green. There's another zigzag in green. So that zigzag in green, I call it, okay, I see here, I didn't label it quite correctly. I just need to remove that so that I don't confuse you. I'm gonna quickly put on the labeling on it so that it's not confusing. Take that out. Let us label that one quickly. WXY. So trading view is very nice because everything is always pre-populated. So I just put on this. It's gonna get clearer just now. So this, I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna make it blue. But this blue is the primary blue. Right. So I'm only gonna look at the 2 degrees. Yeah, so I'm looking at this green degree now. Right, so let's look at the green degree. So within this, after this, we've got another green degree doing this. You see that is another wave here. Okay, so we've had the correction. The correction is always in the opposite direction of the trend, of the impulse. So this was the impulse, the correction must be the opposite. Sorry, it seems like I had pressed mute here. Can't remember how far back I had lost you guys. Somebody just type, when was the last time you heard me? When was the last time you heard me? USD JPY, okay. Okay, looks like I had muted myself there. Right, so let's just quickly go back to the US dollar JPY pair and just finish what I had said in there. Technology, guys, technology. But it's gonna get better with time. I think it's much better than yesterday, today. So next time we do this, it should be a lot smoother. Okay. I can see a couple of people have left because of that. Yeah, so do raise a hand. Click the raise hand button. That one flashes on my screen. Otherwise I just get carried away and keep talking to myself. So it looks like I've been talking to myself for the last 10 minutes here. Okay, so but I think you've been watching what I've been doing with the USD JPY analysis. So essentially what I'm saying is I've already posted the trade. What you need to do, we're trading this all the way to 104. I've got the blue box at 104. So then how do you trade this? I'm gonna go to the 1 hour chart. Okay, any issues, just click the raise hand button. That one flashes directly on my screen. Then I can see if there's a problem. All right. So yesterday we were here when I was discussing this chart. We were actually here. This flag had not formed yet. So the only thing that you need to do with USD JPY, we put in get some drawing going on. Only thing you need to do, every time you get a flag, you sell it. And you see that is what has been happening ever since we broke this trend line here. Get a flag, sell. Get a flag, sell. Another flag, this one we had not formed last night when I said this, then we sell. Today, it's already forming. There's another one that we're probably going to be selling tomorrow for another drop. Okay? The only time that we're going to stop selling this one is if it breaks this trend line. But otherwise, until then, whenever it forms a flag and doesn't break this line, we just keep selling it all the way up until 104. But there is a possibility that this can be broken for a deeper correction before it carries on all the way to 104. It will not go down in a straight line. It won't go down in a straight line. But for now, that's the trade. If you are not on it, just follow the flags and sell, especially for day traders. That's what you should be looking at, those breaks in those flags. Okay, so let us look at the gold chart. Gold chart, Asi sent me his analysis this morning. It was a very nice analysis on gold, which we share the same view. Right, let's go to the 4-hour chart. But in any case, this video will be available. I hope the audio is loud and clear, much better than yesterday because of all those feedbacks. But today looks like it's going to be much better. I'm going to share this video afterwards. Right, so this is what I was saying about gold. So the first thing that we establish is the wave count. We check where the wave is, where the next string wave is going. And then after that, we look at how we take the trade. You don't just take a trade because the market is going a certain direction. There should be a strategy that you use to take trades. All right, so this is gold. Can you see gold is similar to US dollar JPY, but in the opposite direction. So the first thing that always happens, we always identify the string. A string is an impulse with an actionary wave, a strong wave. It's different to a correction. A correction usually goes sideways, and this is going sideways, as you can see. All right, so what do I have here? I've got a labeling. I've got a labeling WXY, WX, and then I've got a Y here, right here at the top somewhere. Okay, so this is giving me a very nice zigzag, and a zigzag is one of the most basic correction, actually the first correction that you ever find on Elliot wave. So that I've connected that in the higher degree. So I need to go to the lower degree to take a trade. I don't take trades in the higher degree, right? So now I want to connect the lower degree. The lower degree here, as you can see, is the red. So basically, what is a lower degree? A lower degree is just a zigzag within the string. Another zigzag within this string. This is what I call a subcorrection. And then what would I expect? I'm going to expect another zigzag. So I'm just going to change the color into red. So you can see that I've got another zigzag. I've got another zigzag within this string. And what am I expecting? I'm expecting to have the same thing here on gold, but going upwards, all the way up to 1,376. That is my target on gold. But I haven't got an entry yet, which is what we need to do. So I've shown you the higher degree. So this process can go on and on all the way up to the infinite number of infinite time frame, into the 1 minute time frame. Obviously, the 1 minute time frame cannot be visible. So let me just show you that it can go even lower. There are zigzags within these strings. Let's just go to the lower degree, which is the green. And you see the green here. What is happening with the green? That's another degree. I just don't wanna, okay, I'll just draw it, check, and you see. So we are now going on the strings within the red. 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 Sorry, my mouse is just jittery, but you can see the idea. Now, this is what I'm expecting on this string. I'm expecting this, we're gonna have this string here. This obviously is gonna be red. I'm just writing it in X, but you can see that that's gonna be in the X, in the red degree. And then we're gonna have this, so this should be W, X, Y. But this green should be red. I just don't want to keep on changing the colors. So you see this process keeps on going on and on all the time. But you need to have the skill to identify this. It's easy when I'm identifying it like this. So we know that this is going up. What do we know now? We know that we can enter within the lower degree. This is what is happening. And we know that what's going to happen in the lower degree is going to happen in the higher degree. This is why we're going to take this trade on the green, which is this is what you call a retest or a flag that I'm looking for here. I'm going to clear everything. I hope you all saw that. Don't forget to flash or raise a hand if you want me to see. So where are we looking to take this trade? We are looking to take it here on the green degree. You saw how I got all the way from the W to the green degree. My wave count starts all the way up from the purple degree. So there's so many degrees in this thing. So now, because we know what's going on the higher degree, we can take this trade on the lower degree. So this is what I'll be expecting. I'll be expecting this to do something like this. Give me this. And then when this breaks, that is the confirmation that we are now going. If I take it here, or if you're not going to be in front of the screen and you want to put in a buy order, you can put just above this thing here. But if I get a 4-hourly close candle above this trend line, I'll be buying it here. Either way, my stop loss is going to be here. Okay? And we're going to hold this all the way up until 1,376. I hope Aja, the guy who always asks about gold on our group, is in this webinar, that he can see this gold trade. All right? But you know what they always say, the market is always right. We make mistakes, but that's the analysis on gold. Right, move on to the next chart. Okay, looks like okay. Okay, we've covered US dollar JPY. I've sent you Euro JPY this morning as a day trade, targeting 100 pips. It did not get to 100. I think for now it's just on just under 50 pips. But you should keep holding that trade. I'll show you why. Just go to Euro JPY quickly. Euro JPY, that I said. The reason why I said you should take this trade was when it broke this trend line. This is the 4-hour chart. Let me just show you the higher degree so you can see where this is coming from. So again, you can see that most of the time I usually have these 3 waves. There are times where there is 5 waves, like there is 5 waves here. I just don't label everything. I just label to make sure to get a guidance on what's going on with the charts. All right, so what I was expecting with Euro JPY is this one. Let me show you again. Yellow degree, I was expecting it to go there because this is supposed to be equals to this, but it ended up here. And this is not equals to this yet. You will hear people talking about equal legs. This is what it means. So in the Elliot wave theory, we say this sequence is not completed until this leg is equals to this leg. And at the moment, it's not equal. So this is what I'm expecting with this pair. I'm going to go to the lower time frame. Just take note that I'm going to be looking from the Y going to this trend line when I go down to the 1-hour chart. I'm going to the 1-hour chart now. Okay. So now I'm on the 1-hour chart. That is that Y I was talking about. So I'm expecting this to do this. We get a correction here, and then we get to this level here, which is around 127. Okay, but there is a possibility that this trade can carry on and go to the blue box because that leg is not equals to the Y yet. Remember the Y that I was talking about. It's not; they are not equal yet. So that's what I'm expecting an incomplete sequence. But I'm just taking advantage of this short trade. It could be 150 pips or 200. But there is a possibility that it will go up there. But if it doesn't, that we will know. Then it will break this trend line here. And if it breaks and corrects, then we're going to start looking at an alternative wave count. So that's what happened with Euro JPY. I'm still holding it for a couple of pips and see what happens when you get to this trend line. Okay. We just want to check my chat to see if everything is all right. I see somebody still complaining about mics that are not muted. Let me just check if there's anybody who's got a mic that is not muted. Okay, Violetti, just talk to me quickly. I've unmuted you. I see you've raised your hand.
Daddy, I'm fixing the wall.
Okay, I cannot hear you. Rather just type on the chat box, see what the issue is there, Violetti. Let me just see if there's anybody who's not muted. Everybody is muted here. Everybody is muted. So if there's a feedback problem, it's on your side. Violet, to type something. I see you've raised your hand. Okay, he's not saying anything, so I'm guessing that everything is fine. All right, so let's carry on. So that is the trade on euro. We're expecting it to get to this trend line. If it breaks, then we're going to be going down for many, many pips. If it breaks, this is what's going to happen. So you should always have more than one bias so that when something changes, you know what happens. So I was expecting to get to the blue box. You can see that we missed the blue box by about 300 pips, which is nothing. This pair can do about 100 pips in a day. So that could take about 3 days, or sometimes even more. So if we get here, I will not be surprised if we see another bounce to carry on here. And this Y in yellow will actually be here. And then the larger one will actually be just on top of the blue box, which is where I'll be looking to sell for a very long time. Okay, hope we're still together. Let's look at another pair. Another pair is GBP JPY. This pair I've made a lot of money on. We made a lot of money on this pair. Over 2,000 pips on this pair alone this year. And I've sent all those trades on the free group. Okay, so let's just show you the overview of what the chart looks like. You must always have a clear view of what is happening on the higher time frame. So this is what we have here. You can see that we had the swing here, and then we had this correction here. We actually traded this whole swing here for about 900 pips, this whole W. And then we waited for this correction, and then we took this trade again here. So Euro JPY, I don't know if this swing is completed here. So I'm going to show you what's happening here. Let me show you something. So let's say the swing that we are looking for here is this main one here. Let's do it properly. Let's say the swing that we were looking for is this one here. Right? So let's call this one. This is my swing, right? The swing I always label 1, or it could be 5 or anything. Right? So this one is being corrected. This one is being corrected by this WXY here. And then this one is being corrected by this one here, right? Or rather, let's do it like this. Let me clear this. This is what I have initially. I've got this zigzag that I'm expecting here. So if this is supposed to be equals to this, then this blue box should be here at 151, which tells me that this pair must first get to 151. But remember what I said, that you always have these things going in lower degrees. But here you've got another lower degree. And this lower degree here is not completed either. This yellow degree ended up here. It's not completed either, right? But what you need to understand, this is where it gets a little bit tricky here. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. You have this swing. This swing needs to be corrected, but any correction that breaks the top of this swing, if this top is broken by this correction, it means that this correction is no longer correcting this. Let me repeat. You've got this impulse. It needs to be corrected. This is the correction. But if this correction breaks the top of this swing, it means that this correction is no longer valid for this swing. So this is why I've got this blue line here. And if this blue line can be touched, and that blue line is at 148.43, if that blue line can be not even price closing above it, if it can be touched, it means then that this pair needs to get here before we can see a reversal. But as long as it is below this blue line, we are still bearish on the pair. We're still expecting to go down here. But it will be very nice if it gets to the blue box, because blue box areas are the areas where price usually reverses. Okay? So I'll be very happy if it can get to that area. But right now, I'm currently on a sell with a stop loss on this blue line. All right, so if it is the blue line, then I'll be looking to go up with it. So that is GBP JPY. So let us look at GBP Audi. This pair, I did a lot of analysis on it. Most of you who have been on the group for a while know how many times I've posted this. I've done a case study on this pair. And this is what I call fractals. You can see that you've probably seen this chart before. Okay. Let me just clear it up and show you what I mean by fractals. Okay, I'll illustrate here with a freehand draw. So here we had this string here. We had this string, as you can see it, but we also got this string here. But what is this significant about these two strings is that they were doing exactly the same things. So firstly, we got this thing doing something like this. And then when it got to 3, it started doing this. So here we also had the same thing. You can see that it went to 1 and then it corrected to 2, right? And then when it got to 3, it also did the same thing that it did when that one got to 3. Can you see the similarity so far? Okay, and then this one went up to 5. Same thing with this one. After the 4, it went up to 5. So when I saw this similarity, this pair was here, somewhere around here. And then I thought, okay, this string is doing exactly what the one on the left is doing. So I'm expecting it to do the same. What happened on the left after 5? It did this and then dropped, right? So what happened to this one on the right after it went to 5? It did this. What happens? It drops. You see, if you knew what you were doing, how many pips you would have been in. I had the blue box in that area. And that was another confirmation that this is going to do exactly what happened here. But look at what happens again. This pair, it made this drop and went up. What happens here? It went up again. And I sent you guys another trade last week here, because I knew the only thing that was supposed to happen is that it's going to drop again, which is this drop. Okay? So now what am I expecting to happen here? I'm expecting the same thing to happen here. And when that happens, what's going to happen? Boom, another trade. Do you see how trading fractals can be so profitable and can give you short trades? Look, this is exactly the same as what is going on here. It's just that you just need to open your eyes. You just need to have experience to see these things. I hope we're still together. So that is GBP Audi. I will only buy it when it starts doing something like this. I hope you've learned something on this pair. But then this pair is similar to another pair, Pound New Zealand. If you've seen, so this one is not exactly the same, but you can see the similarity. Let me show you the similarity here between this pair and why I will be looking to buy that GBP Audi pair when it gets to a certain level. So you can see I had the string here, and then I've got another string here as well, the same way as I had with GBP Audi, right? And then this one came down here and started reversing. And I've sent this trade. I don't know if I sent it to the free group, but I sent this to the premium group because I know that this is going to go up. But look why I'm looking at it like that. Take the fib tool. I'm taking my fib tool from where this string starts, which is here, down here. I'm going to take it all the way up to where the second string ends. This one reversed around the 61 area. You see the 61, the 618 area. That's where the reversal happened. And then it started going up. So what am I expecting? Because there's correlation, I'm expecting that GBP Audi will also reverse around the 61 area. Let me go to see where GBP Audi is. Can you see that structure that I was talking about? Now this is GBP Audi. Similar structure. See the similar structure? Right? And then I take the fib tool. Take the fib tool right from the bottom all the way up there. We are currently around the 618 area. We are currently around the 618 area where we could, where this pair should probably do, it should probably do the same thing as the Audi New Zealand is doing. But that has not happened yet and there's no trade yet. And there's another possibility. Those who like to trade patterns, you can see there's a possible Gartley forming on this pair. Let's clear everything. All right. Show you the Gartley. This is the nice thing about trading view, guys. All these patterns are pre-populated there. You just need to go and plug it. You can see this will be a Gartley with a possible buy around the 786 area, which is 1,62. So you could be getting a trade at the 1,62 area. You could be getting a trade there. Okay, so this is how you trade fractals. This is how you trade similar pairs. Okay, I'm going to look at one last pair. The rest I'm going to send, obviously, to the premium group with details entries. I'm going to only send the high probability trades. I'm not just going to send everything. Okay, let me see which pair I can send here. I can discuss quickly. So this is the last one that I'm going to look at now. This is Euro GBP. Let's just clear that up. It was just a session I was having with one of the students, showing them how this pair all works. So you'll see every time that when I do my analysis, I will always have a string. I will always have a string. And then after the string, what happens is a correction. W, X. I'm supposed to have a Y in blue here, right? So if I connect this up, which means I'm expecting this pair to get to this area somewhere around here. Okay, so we know the direction. The only thing we need to do is to get an entry around here. So if I had to go a degree lower, unfortunately, I'm not going to do it in exactly the same color as I have labeled. If we have to go a degree lower, you'll see that we also have a green zigzag there. So I'll be expecting to have another green zigzag here. So we already know that the direction is down. Now we need to know how to trade it. Let's clear all drawings. This trade will be valid as long as this blue line is not broken. Okay, so we had a clear with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those who attended the webinar yesterday, that's what I started with, explaining the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, which most Elliot waiver beginners only know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. That's what most people know. They don't understand the WXY analysis. Okay, so we are here on a sell because we're anticipating this trade to the downside. So we already sold it on this breakdown of this flag. So it is currently retesting again here, which is giving me a perfect entry. You can still enter this trade here. You can even enter this one now with a stop loss at 89.95. Okay. Right, so let me just get one last chart, just the first chart that I'm gonna see on the chat box. I'm gonna do it and then we close. So anybody can just type quickly a chart on the chat box, then we look at it, and then that will be the last one we look at tonight. If somebody's saying they can't see the blue box. All right, US dollar ZAR. Right. Let's look at US dollar ZAR. I'm going to look at US dollar ZAR quickly. I'm still here, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to look at this quickly. Right, so US dollar ZAR. Let's look at the bigger picture on this one. This pair has been cleaning out anybody who was trying to sell the rands. But I've been anticipating 11 rands on this pair for the last year or so. Last year, I posted a trade when we were here and said we're going to get to 11 rands. We are not so far off now. We're only 1 rand away from the 11 areas. This is how powerful this forecasting, Elliot wave forecasting is. So let me go quickly to the daily so that we can see the whole chart. Let's try to clean it up a bit so that it doesn't get so congested. So this pair, first of all, let's look at the impulse before we look at this mess that's going on here. This pair, ever since we know US dollar ZAR, you see all the way since 2008 from the 1990s, this pair has never dropped until January of 2016. That is the only time where US dollar ZAR started dropping. So what does that mean? That's obvious. That means that forever we've always had this impulse. And now that impulse is being corrected. We know the US dollar ZAR is strong right now, but that strength obviously is not going to last forever. So let's do a detailed analysis on this one. Let's look at something here. Okay, I want you to look at the outer degree in purple. The outer degree in purple. And I'm gonna try and get the purple here. Can I get a purple? Yes. Can you see this purple line here? I'm joining up the purples. This is the purple, W, X, Y. You saw that, right? What did I say? Yes, this is the higher degree, the highest degree. Under each degree, there's lower degrees here. Here's the degree in yellow. Under each degree, there's a lower degree. Under the X here, under the purple X, there's a yellow. And then this purple one here also has a yellow degree. Look how simple this was to see. When we were here, just check the date. When we were here, 2016, November, that was last year, November, I knew that US dollar ZAR needs to get to 11 rands because of this forecasting method. Right, so that's what we have currently, right? So what am I expecting? I'm expecting US dollar ZAR to get to 11.74, but that does not necessarily happen in a straight line, right? Can I clean this up so that we can go down to the trades now? You've seen how that happens. So maybe we can even go 1 degree lower here quickly. Let's call that the red degree. Let's call it the red degree. We could even have something like this and go down to the 11 rand areas. I'm going to clear this up and get to the trade now. All right, so where are we? This X, I was expecting this X to get up here, but it's fine. It broke this line. Now we should possibly get down there, but we should possibly have another correction. So this trade is already broken and it's too late to enter now. So what do you need to do to enter? To enter, you need to wait for it to correct. You need to wait for it to do something like this so that it can complete this move all the way down to 11. And then around the 11 rand area, that's when I will start looking at buying the US dollar for a long, long, long time. But that could possibly take time. Obviously, that doesn't happen in a straight line. So that's my view on US dollar ZAR. Wait for a deeper correction before going in. Don't just go with a sell. And remember, this is almost the last move before we go up. The 1170s, that's where I'm expecting. But if the trade plays out and we get this, I definitely do send this one to the premium guys. Okay, guys, thank you all for coming. Let me just check if there's anything on the chat box. I'm going to be closing this webinar now. Thank you all for attending. If there's any question, you can just type it quickly. Otherwise, any other questions, you can answer them on Telegram so that we don't keep this too long here. I need to stop it. Let's see if there's any question. Howdy, Cat. Howdy, Cat. Maybe I can just send an analysis on Audi CAD after the webinar. We've already exceeded the 1 hour on the webinar, so I don't want it to be that long. So I'll send a chat on Audi CAD on Telegram. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for attending. This video will be available. We'll send it through on the Telegram group. Cheers. Have a good night. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. And we'll stop the recording.